KFSR and CMAC present the Central Valley Ledger, a public affairs program featuring stories from all over the Central Valley with Sevag Tateosian, 90.7 KFSR.
Welcome to another edition of the Central Valley Ledger. We're recording out of the beautiful downtown Fresno studios of the Community Media Access Collaborative, Fresno and Clovis. We're here not too far from the newly opened Fulton Street. If you haven't come out to check out the latest additions in downtown Fresno, come on out and see what new things there are here. But today we're not talking about downtown. We're talking about an organization that's located a little up north in the Herndon and Ingram area. It's called Her Space, and the founder and president, Kayla Pendleton, is here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little about me. So I grew up in Kingsburg, went to Kingsburg High.
Not too far from here.
Yeah, graduated from there. I'm happily married. I live here in Fresno now, pretty close to my office. I have a cute little cat named Bellamy. I like to go up to Shaver a lot, and we have a boat on the lake there, and so I get to spend some time kayaking or visiting there. So
Beautiful area, beautiful mountains, and when it snows up there, it's unbelievable.
it's just gorgeous. Yeah.
So where did you go to college? Fresno, or did you go to college somewhere else?
I did go here in Fresno. I graduated Fresno State with my bachelor's in business and my option in marketing. So that's really my background is marketing.
So at what point did you decide, well, before we get there, what is Her Space that we're going to be talking about today?
Yeah. So Her Space is a business center for women. So we have a co-working space and dedicated desks and also private offices. We host lots of events that are to support women in business. And we're all about doing anything that we can to support our community.
So you're the founder and president of Her Space. What made you decide, we need this in Fresno and the time is now?
Well, so maybe I should backpedal a little bit and tell you a little bit about my story and really how I learned about the concept of co-working and what really drove me to open it. So I'll kind of go through that a little bit. So I did graduate from Fresno State, and right out of college, I got a job as a remote worker, and I managed marketing for 4 different companies under one umbrella. But being fresh out of college, I was a little bit isolated in my job, and then all of my friends had decided to move on, move to wherever their new jobs were, and also to, they got married and things like that. So my friends kind of went away, and then also in my job, I didn't really have very many people to talk to and bounce ideas off of. I was probably the youngest person in the company total, and this was a very large company. And I was also the only woman on our team. So it was the sales team that I was a part of, and I was really the first person they took on as an employee to do marketing. And so the other people on my team didn't understand anything about marketing.
Wow. So it kind of felt like you were alone, like kind of isolated, as you mentioned. Mm-hmm. That could be challenging.
It was very, very hard. So, without having people to, take a project I was working on and explain what I was doing and have good feedback, everything just went over everyone's head. And so I was really in this position of trying to seek out elsewhere where I could find something I could go to where I could find that. And I ended up deciding, well, because I work from home and because I have some flexibility in this company, I'm going to go move to San Diego because I can live wherever I want. Why not be on the beach?
Good choice, by the way.
Thank you. It was really nice, but I did live in a tiny studio. It was great because I got to walk right across the street and there was the beach. I could sip my coffee with my toes in the sand. It was great. So I really enjoyed that part, but the isolation problems became even more so because now I'm in a new place where my family doesn't even live, and I'm in a much smaller home. So then I became more distracted because when your kitchen's a mess and you have a room separate from the kitchen that you're not looking at the mess, you can kind of turn it off. But with being in a studio and living in a studio apartment, all of a sudden your kitchen is your living room, is your bedroom.
And it can get pretty cramped.
Yeah, so it just amplified all of the problems with working from home. So, and it's constantly like, ooh, I'm gonna go grab another piece of chocolate out of the fridge, or somebody knocks on the door and just totally distracts you. And
You're going exactly where I'm going. It's not so easy to work out of your house.
No.
Because everything could be a distraction.
Yes. Well, even just, do I want to turn on the TV, or, oh, maybe I'll work from the couch for a little bit, but ooh, some popcorn sounds really good. So I'm going to go. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So you have to have a ton of discipline to be an effective work from home person.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I decided to go and search for a private office. But of course, living in San Diego, it was much more expensive than what I had seen in Fresno, and I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Not with the cost of living for my little studio anyways, and trying to find something else. So unless I wanted to just be in a tiny closet, there was no way I was going to be able to afford both. So I kept searching online, and I stumbled across this concept of co-working. And this was quite a few years back, and I was like totally blown away. This is such a neat concept, to be able to work amongst other like-minded people, but we all are from different industries, a lot of solopreneurs, a lot of tech people. So it seemed like a really good group to get involved in. So I went and I looked at several different co-working spaces down in San Diego, and I found one that I really, really identified with, which was called Hair Hub.
Mm-hmm.
And Hair Hub was absolutely beautiful. It had very much a spa-like feel when you go in, and the women there were so supportive and knowledgeable, and just people that I really wanted to, have mentor me or just bounce ideas off of. So for me, it was absolutely game-changing when I became a member there.
And because they're always around, right? Like, you go to the office to work and you have these experts, they're there working too. So there's always somebody you can talk to. That isolation is no longer there.
Right. You don't realize how important just walking to, the kitchen to grab another cup of coffee and being able to run into somebody that's in the break room and just being like, oh, hey, I saw that you do this. Like, that's really cool. Tell me more about that. Just those kind of conversations that pop up without thinking about it. It's really beneficial to just be around other people that you can do that with. So anyway.
So you become a member and you
Yes.
rent out space of this place.
Mm-hmm.
When did you realize, because it doesn't sound like a bad setup. You've got the beach.
Right.
You've got a nice place you work at. You're in San Diego. A lot of people want to be in San Diego. When did you decide, okay, I got to come back to Fresno?
It really stemmed from me wanting to just come back where my family was.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I didn't live there very long. It was probably a total of 4 months. It was not a long time. And my grandparents had health issues, and I realized how important that was for me to just be around my family. I had never lived outside of Fresno. I'd lived on my own before in college,
But not outside. Yeah, Fresno
Yes.
State, you kind of stayed in the valley.
Yes.
Kingsburg, Fresno State. So you come to Fresno. Did you know right away, like, okay, I'm opening her space?
Oh, I wish. No.
Didn't work out that easy, huh?
No. It was a course of a few years, actually, before I decided to do it. But so automatically, when I came back, I moved up near my parents, which they live up closer to Shaver Lake. And so I moved right down the street from them, got myself a cute little cabin, loved it.
I'm smiling. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm smiling because you move far away from them, and then now you come back and you're down the street from them.
Right. It's, yeah. But that's really, I didn't know that I missed it so much until I was away from them. So, and I miss my dog, and I, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I moved back there. I loved my little cabin, was close with them, but I didn't even realize what I was doing to myself. Again, I moved way far away from town, way far away from where any of my friends would live at all, to be close with my family by myself. Like, I didn't have a roommate, and I'm working from home. So round the clock, every single day, I'm still in that isolated mode. And, I'd walk over to my mom's every once in a while, but, it's not the same.
Right. I mean,
So.
Shaver is nice, but at some point you need interaction with people.
Yeah. So I'm laughing myself because I wish I had known when I did that what I was doing to myself, because it really created even a further downward spiral. So, and I lived by myself there for, a little while, and realized that was happening. And I actually started dating my now husband, and we ended up buying a home and stuff, but it still was in the mountains and isolated. So, yeah, I kept searching when I moved back here for something similar to Hera Hub, and there just was nothing like it. So there are other spaces.
But yeah, there are other spaces. I think what's cool is you found the niche of the women business, the women area or hub. I mean, there's workspace and there's places where you can have that kind of atmosphere, but I think you found the niche in Fresno.
Right. What I really, really liked about Hera Hub was that it was focused on women in business needs. People negotiate completely different as a man versus a woman. And people just, they deal with problems differently, and they just have different needs. And so all of those things were addressed in our co-working space, where all of the spaces here are tailored to like workspaces, really professional business. The Bitwise is more around like the tech industry, and then now, kind of right in the same time frame that I've opened, there's been a couple others that have popped up: the hackerspace, and then also common space, which again, those tailor to more niche markets. So when I was really doing a lot of my market research to see if this would be something viable in Fresno, I went to all the like female entrepreneurial networking groups, and I just started asking around, hey, would this be something that you would want here? Would that be useful? I just started talking to people, and well, I guess I'm gonna backpedal a little bit. So when I was still working from home, I kept searching for these alternatives. I went and I tried out what is it called, the hashtag.
Yeah,
I did. I tried out the hashtag for a couple months, and I really couldn't identify with the group of people that were there. Unfortunately, my job was not, coding.
Right.
There were not a lot of people that were there during the business hours that I was. A lot of the coders would come in super late at night, so the place would be full in the evenings.
I'm sleeping super late at night, so yeah.
Me too. So it made it difficult because there wasn't very many people to even talk to while I was there. So again, that didn't fix my problems.
So
that's really what kind of made me go, all right, if there's no good option, I kept twiddling my thumbs. Like, is somebody going to open one of these? Is someone going to open one of these? And finally, I realized, you know what, that person is supposed to be me.
Yeah, you know what, like, it's different to have an idea and then actually put it in, because, you're talking money here. Like, it's not cheap. Even, like, the simplest businesses, that's capital investment. And so for you to do this, did you have reservations?
Oh, yeah, of course. And actually, I'd never opened anything like this. So at the end of the day, how did I know that it was going to work? And if I came up with that kind of investment, or, got a partner or something, how would I ensure to them that it was going to work? So I was really in this stage of, how the heck am I going to do this? And at the time when I realized that, I think I was 24.
Wow.
So I was still really young. I'm still really young. I'm only 26 now. But so really that like 2 years that I have worked on this now before it has been open, it was really a process. So I had to do a lot of research and figure out what I was going to do in the first place. So actually I went and I talked to the owner of Hair Hub and I said, I would love to open one here. And she actually is looking to kind of license out her model and wanting to expand and grow her brand. So I thought that would be a great fit. And so I actually worked with her for about 6 months.
Wow, okay.
And I really started going down that path and started telling people, I'm opening a hair hub, I'm opening a hair hub, I'm so excited about it, this is what it is. And at the end of the day, it was not the right fit.
Oh.
Which was hugely disappointing after working through it so long and talking to so many people, telling them that that was what I was going to do. And there were just some disagreements on the contract that I couldn't get over, and we couldn't negotiate. We both just couldn't come to terms with it. So
that's got to be disappointing.
It so was. I'm still a little bit disappointed. I can't fully get over it because I love Hair Hub, and I love the people there and what they do and their whole concept. So then I sat around for another 2 months after all of that, and I was just like, should I or shouldn't I? Should or shouldn't I? Am I going to be able to make this work? So I talked to one of my mentors, and she said, how long have you been thinking about doing this? And I said, gosh, at this point, probably 2 years. I've been thinking about it and been working through the process, and it's been on my mind and trying to figure out if I'm going to do it. And she's like, well, you're just going to do it then. And I'm like, looking at her like, okay, you crazy. I don't know how I'm going to figure all this out. This is not an easy task in front of me. And I ended up sitting there having coffee with her for 4 hours at this coffee shop one day.
Wow.
Because she just really wanted to encourage me and figure out logistically how I could make it work. And it was really funny because the little coffee shop, they brought us like breakfast when we first got there, but we were there so long that we ordered lunch too.
Oh, how cool.
So, and they were great. We had a good time up there. We actually met in Prather because she lives up that way, so up in the mountains.
Yeah, Prather is a very nice place too.
Yep. So that's kind of where I was at, and just kind of this difficult place of, well, okay, if I'm going to do it, how am I going to even approach this? So I started again asking people, okay, look, if I can't do it this way, what should I do? What could be useful to you? If I opened a place like this, what would you expect from it? What are the types of things? So I just started asking people what they wanted. And I found that a lot of things that people wanted were similar to what the Hair Hub concept was, but I found quite a few differences too. And they always say Fresno's a good test market. So I said, well, this is good because I'll find out what's going to work here, and then it'll be really good to duplicate other places.
Right.
So, yeah.
So you opened the doors, Her Space.
Yes.
It's located in North Fresno.
Yes.
Tell us, if I walked into Her Space, what am I seeing or what am I walking into?
Okay. So when you first walk in the double doors, it's you see a nice sign at the bottom of kind of by the floor that says hello. And it welcomes you. And there's these big chandeliers. Well, they're not that big, but they're real pretty. So a couple of chandeliers, and there's a couple of smaller tables that you can work at there or have a coffee meeting. If you look to your left, there's the private office for me and my one contractor that I have working for me sometimes. And we kind of, in that room, we handle all of the mail and packages and things coming into the office, and kind of storage area too. So then you walk a little further into the space and you get into the co-working area.
So they're tables and desks, but do the people have private offices too, or just it's like an open area?
So this part of the office is an open area. And so the best way I can describe it for people that wouldn't understand what a co-working space is a lot of people that work from home choose to go to Starbucks and work from Starbucks, where it's just kind of an open concept layout. You choose a table and chair, and you plug in your laptop and you sit and work, right? So in the co-working space, there are tables and chairs you can sit at. We actually have medicine balls too, if it's a little ergonomic option for people. We also have tables that are at the right height for like a standing desk. So you can kind of go back and forth between medicine ball, chair table, higher top table, or we actually have a couch in there too. You can prop your feet up and work, whatever you feel most comfortable with. And then there's a little kitchenette in there too, so people can bring their own lunches, and we provide snacks and coffee and tea. We have fresh spa water every day. So like this week we did like a blueberry infused water. So yeah, just kind of different snack options and stuff for people. So we did the math one time, like if you go to Starbucks 3 times a week and you spend $10, which you could very easily do if you buy yourself and a guest a coffee.
Of course.
And you could pay for our basic level of membership at her space, which is like 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. You can access it all the time, and you get free snacks and coffee.
So, and let's talk about that. So,
Yeah.
Well, do you have to be female to?
No.
Okay, so it's her space, but you can, as a male, I can rent out space from you.
Absolutely. We actually have a few male members already. Really, the space is designed by women for women, so it's going to feel more feminine. And we have lots of events that are tailored to women's needs in business.
So I rent a space from you, and now I have a basic membership. Now I can use the stand-up table,
Yep.
the medicine ball, the desk, and then the spa water and snacks.
Yep. But we also have a whole conference and meeting area. We have dedicated desks, and we have private offices as well.
But that depends. So the membership level depends on how much access you have. Am I correct?
Kind of, yeah. So like if you want a dedicated desk, you also get 24/7 access to the space, as well as like the private offices, you get that too. And then you get so many hours of meeting and event space rental included in your membership. So like the higher level memberships, it's included in that, where like our basic package, some people, they just want to come and work.
Right. They want a space to come and work where there's others that can offer them, advice. So what kind of businesses are there now across the board?
So many different crazy off the wall. Yeah, it's amazing. So I have everything from coaches to insurance people to CPAs to lawyers to students to ag companies to I have one that designs home resorts.
Did you imagine that it could be this popular so fast? Because you've only been open 7 months.
I had a feeling, I had a gut instinct that this was something that
Based
was
on
really
your market
needed.
research, so
Yes.
here's where the homework pays off.
Yes, which took a lot of time in the beginning stages. But yes, I had a feeling it would take off, but you never know how it's going to go. But I will tell you, it has, especially in the last few months, it's just really, really gained some momentum. I think we'll be full within a couple of months.
So that's my next question.
Yeah.
Let's say that you're how do you determine completely full? Because people are coming and going all the time.
So I predetermined how many members we'd be maxed at. That's all based off of how many conference room hours we have and how much space we have for people to work and how often people would come versus not. I use a lot of other co-working spaces data as examples for that to know how often people were using the space, because we don't want it to be too full at one time.
Right.
So yeah, I'm actually maxing it at 75 people, and we have about 45 right now.
So you're more than halfway there.
Yes.
So in the future, can we see her space part 2?
I would love that. I actually personally don't want to be the one that opens it, just because it's a ton of work. I would rather coach someone else that wants to own one through it. So I actually really love what Hera Hub had done and doing the licensing model. And so I probably will do something similar. So I'm working with my business coach to really systematize every piece of this, and I'm working very hard to make sure that I have a proven plan that's going to work if somebody was going to want to open one of these in the future. And so my goal is within 1 year, I want to have full membership and be able to kind of package that up nicely and say, okay, you want to open one? Here you go.
Here you go. It's very creative.
Thank you.
It sounds like these are new. These kind of shared workspaces seem very new. Like, they seem like the hip, cool way to rent out office space. because you've got I agree, by the way. If I was alone in my office every day, I don't know if I could handle it. But if I come to a space and there's always people around, then it's a different atmosphere. Is there a fear that sometimes they'll get together and not work? Like I could just see, oh, let's have a big party today.
Well, okay, so I think it's really funny how that is a fear when new members come in. One of my members, her name's Beth, she became a member just because a life circumstance changed and she really needed to have a productive workspace. And that was one of her big fears coming in, is like, I don't know how productive I'm going to be here versus my house, because I might want to talk to everybody, and and women are known for being more chatty than men. So she just told me the other day, actually, we did some testimonial videos, and she shared this with me, and I just thought it was the best thing ever. She said that she cannot believe how productive she is there, because you come in and the whole space is filled with people that they're hustling, and you can see them next to you. They are getting things done.
And it's rubbing off on them.
Yes, and so it's almost like you're picking up a little magic pixie dust from the person next to you. You're driven more because of them.
That's a perfect way. Believe it or not, it's the end of our program. So
Really?
we're out of time this week on the program. Thank you so much for sharing your story. But
thank you for having me.
You're welcome. How can people find out more information, and how can they tour her space? Because
Yes.
I want to tour.
Oh, please come. I would love that. So the best way to reach us is to go to herspacefresno.com, or you can search online for office space in Fresno. We usually will pop up. And there is a place to schedule a tour. If you go to like the membership page on the website, then you can find a place to book a tour straight from there.
Perfect. Well, Kayla, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me.
That's all for this edition of the Central Valley Ledger. Thank you to our audience members listening to this program on KFSR 90.7 FM, and to those watching on Comcast 93 and AT&T 99, the Community Media Access Collaborative Fresno and Clovis channels. We hope you enjoyed the program this week, all made possible by our wonderful volunteer crew. We couldn't do it without them in the studio making us sound and look good. Hope you enjoyed the program this week. Tune in next week to a new edition.
KFSR and CMAC present the Central Valley Ledger every Sunday morning at 11:30. For a complete program schedule, visit kfsr.org.